Hey guys, welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks so much for being here, for being subscribed. If you're not, go ahead and hit that button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like button. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this reality chat. You know, I wanted to talk about this name change ceremony, and not so much the name change ceremony, but I will preface what I'm going to talk about with this. This was actually really brilliant. I don't know if it was just her idea to do it, Melody's idea, or if it was someone on her team that gave her the idea to do it. But I really love what she did because it really is significant. Martell was so butthurt to know that she was ditching that last name, which really didn't do anything for her. It was just the name that she carried. But it actually got me to thinking about the significance of names. You know, I've been married for 25 years, and I'm thankful to be married to someone who is the complete opposite of Martell, okay? But it is a trust thing when you take on someone else's name. And I remember changing my last name on my driver's license, and I was already married for 12 years before I did it. And I remember going to the DMV, and guy who was serving me at the time at the desk, he was like, oh, okay, just getting married? I said, well, yeah, 12 years ago. And he was so shocked. He was like, oh, okay. I said, yeah, I think by now I can trust him. And it was a joke for me, but honestly, I really did like my last name that I already had. And not that I didn't like the last name that I was being married into, but too, when you hear so many stories about men and they ain't this and they ain't that, and honestly, if you have people around you that make you feel like this marriage isn't good, marriage isn't going to work, men ain't no good and whatever, you really, sometimes you have those doubts in your mind that, well, let me just wait and see. So it's not that I didn't live like I was married. I'm not saying that, but I just really was like, well, hey, if it don't work, then at least I won't have to change my name back. So that's what I'm saying when I say I really started to think about the significance of names, because I really just got to the point where I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm tired of explaining to people, yeah, I'm married, but this is my maiden name and whatever. Not saying that people can't use their maiden name, because some people do keep their maiden names. Some people do hyphenate it. It really is a choice. For me, it was a choice. But I love Melody's choice that she decided to get rid of that last name, even though it is the last name of her children. She is entitled to do what she wants to do, and the law agreed that we are honoring this. Yes, you will be deemed Rogers and no longer Holt, but she is no longer a part of him. The children, and I'm going to say this, unfortunately, and yes, I mean that, the children unfortunately are. Yes, she has her 4 beautiful children by way of being connected to him at some point in time, but he can't hold that over her. She is not Drea Kelly, who used to marry to R. Kelly, who's trying to give the case for why she should keep her last name when this man has done so many horrible things, and she wants to say, well, this is the name of my children and blah, 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 blah. It's like, girl, we know you use that name because it helps you in business and whatever you're doing. So that's just that. Just say that instead of trying to make it out to be something bigger than what it is. But I think that this was brilliant. I really did enjoy it for, you know, what we got to see of it. But listen, Nell, why did Nell use this time at this event to pull Melody to the side? And it wasn't even just like they were sitting there talking and she just started speaking about it. She actually came up to Melody to say, listen, I need to talk to you about something. I was like, oh, I know she's not going there. And unfortunately, because this is a reality show, I knew that's what it was going to be. But I'm like, girl, did they put you on this mission to be messy? Because this just really was not the place or time. She could have discussed that with Melody at another place and time after the event was over. They could have been just discussing whatever they were discussing, and Nell could have brought it up. Like Melody could have been like, hey, so, how did you enjoy the name change ceremony? I was so glad to see you and Chris there, blah, blah, blah. And then, she could go into it if she, decides to talk about it. She could have went into it then. Yeah, me and Chris, we had an amazing time. But girl, let me tell you, I saw your ex-husband and I was telling him that I got invited to your name change ceremony and I was coming, and he did this, that, and the other. She could have talked about that at another place and time, but to do that there, that almost to me was the equivalent of someone who gets married, okay? And at the wedding reception, you're talking to the bride about how you saw their ex-boyfriend the day before the wedding, and was telling, like, why would you do that? Well, this is my day. This is my special day. I'm celebrating something amazing. This is a new chapter of my life. And then you're coming to me talking about my ex-boyfriend. That was the equivalent to me of what Nell did at Melody's name change ceremony. You know what I mean?
So I've seen your ex-husband.
I'm not really sure why Miss Nell wants to talk about Martell right now. Look around. This is a Martell-free zone, okay? Nobody's really checking for Martell. Today is not about him. Today is about me. Miss Nell, I'm going to need you to get with the program.
He stopped by and brought us 2 bottles of wine.
Okay.
His wine. Chris wasn't there. Chris had went by the office, and he was just like, hey, Nell, so did you hear about Mel wanting to have her name changed? I said, yeah, I heard about it. So what you think about that? I said, well, if that's her decision, then I stand by her decision. That's what she want to do. Girl, he felt some type of way. And by the way, I've been invited, and I'm going to be attending. Oh, you going to go? You going to go? I said, yes, I am. Oh, I don't think you should. I think that's a smack in the face to me. I said, well,
why does everything become about him?
Yeah.
He's in his feelings about me changing my name back to who I was when he met me.
He's in his feelings about you changing your name.
I pity him so much.
I think you should have talked to her about that. That's her name I gave her. That's sacred.
No.
You
said that's his name he gave me?
Yes, that's what
So let me be clear. I was given a name before I met him. Was I not?
Yes, you were.
That's not some of the most controlling, narcissistic stuff.
Yes.
That's why I'm celebrating today.
Yeah.
Not much anything Martell does is surprising. So hearing Miss Nell say that he was upset that she's coming to my name change ceremony and he gave me that name as if he made me, that's what Martell does. Typical narcissistic behavior. Boy, you did not make me, and neither did your name, because I was already Melody before I ever met you. 2 snaps.
But he said, I don't never hold you accountable to anything. I said, I'm not a mother. I'm her friend. And I said, I don't see nothing she did wrong, but not speak to you. Oh, he got so mad at me. He said, you don't know half of it. You need to be asking her some questions. But she don't tell you the she need to be telling you. Okay,
like
Martell,
what?
Sure, he wants to say your infidelity. Your infidelity before while y'all was married. She covers her up when
He's
she
lying.
knows.
I'm so tired of him lying. Well, you know what? He's not here.
Yeah.
His spirit is not here.
Right.
The spirit of division, the spirit of pitting women against each other. I'm not worried about the past. I'm worried about my future. And you're here helping me celebrate this new future. Now let's go eat.
Okay.
Melody was just so eloquent and peaceful in her response to Nell, because I know, or at least I believe in in her spirit, she was really just wanting to go off, to be like, B, why are you bringing this up to me right now? Like, this is not about him. But she's doing the Michelle Obama thing, you know what I mean? So I understand sometimes you got to do that. But I just really was like, why is she doing this? Did production say, okay? And I do believe that they do stuff like that. Listen, this is reality television. And as much as people want to believe that some people are just downright messy for the sake of being messy, they do tell them at certain spaces and at different events, okay, you need to bring up this situation. They don't tell you what to say about it, but they tell you that you need to do this or you need to talk about this. So I understand that. But yet and still, because they're real friends, I could see them doing that with Tiffany. You know what I mean? Because Tiffany, she's just messy, period. I'm not saying that Nell may not have a little bit of mess in her, but because that's supposed to be like her genuine friend, I just really didn't feel that that was something that she should have done. She could have not taken the assignment to say, you know what, I understand that's what you all want me to talk about, but not here. We can talk about it at a different place and time, but not on her special day. That's just not cool. I don't think that that made it any better to do that. And it didn't give what I believe production was hoping that it was going to give. I could see Carlos with his messy self having a hand in that conversation happening there and then, you know, and Melody, she probably knows it too. And that's probably why she did not give into going there where she really could have. But that was just so inappropriate. I'm all about spaces and time. And even though sometimes we may get in our emotions and feelings and we just want to blurt out and let it go and we can't hold back, but there are some things where it's just like, this is just not the time and place. So I'm not going to go here right now. As much as I really want to go there, I'm not going to. I'm going to wait and I'm just going to cool off for a little bit, you know? But Nell said something and I was like, here we go. Because when she was speaking to Melody and she said, I told him she didn't do anything wrong except not speaking to you. Melody didn't do anything wrong by not speaking to that a-hole because he didn't deserve a hello or a F you for that matter. You know what I mean? He did not deserve to even be graced by anything that she would have to say to him because it would have been a waste. So I don't know what she's driving at when she says that, you know, it doesn't matter what's going on. Everybody deserves a hello. You could at least speak to the person. No, sometimes the best thing is to give them dust, to pay them nothing but absolute silence because he doesn't deserve it. And for her to know, which even her husband was pissed off that they got subpoenaed into this child custody thing that Hotel was the one that brought about, and honestly was expecting them to lie for him pretty much to try to go against Melody. He subpoenaed them. Like, she should know that he is not someone that is worthy of a conversation. He doesn't consider other people, so why should Melody consider him? But the name was trash. The name means nothing. And for Hotel to even say, well, that's a slap in my face because I gave her that name and that's disrespectful. You see how stupid he is to even say stuff like this? You gave someone your name, quote unquote, like this is what he said. You gave someone your name, but you gave somebody else that you didn't give your name, your dick. Repeatedly, and your tongue. That's why I call him Arion's baby wipe. He is absolutely disgusting and despicable and ridiculous, and I wouldn't have any parts of him. Period. So I'm glad she got rid of that name. I really enjoy the name change ceremony. I think it was a brilliant idea. You know, at first I was like, okay, this is a bit much. This is over the top. But seeing it in real time, or not even real time, but seeing it air, it even made more sense to me. And it really just, like I said at the beginning of this reality chat, really brought about the significance of a name. It really is something that is extremely important. You know what I mean? And we know this stuff too, but his name meant absolutely nothing. So honestly, it wasn't worthy of being continued. Because to be honest with you, just being honest, being beautifully honest, I could even see myself, if I were her, getting my children's name changed. Now, some people might say that's low and that's petty or whatever, but I'm just being honest. I would rather them have my name than their father's name. Really. They might have their DNA, you know, have their dad's DNA, but it doesn't mean that they have to have their dad's name. That's just me, because he's continuously and repeatedly disrespected the children as well. You know, people like that. You have 4 children and you were just out here screwing coleslaw and who knows what else. I'm not even saying who else, but what else he was screwing around with, like just so disrespectful to his children. he didn't care about his children at all. So I just really feel like he just continues to try to grasp at straws because they have this space of being on this show together, where he really believes that he deserves something, and he absolutely does not. He wants to take credit for all of the good and does not want to take responsibility for the bad that he has done and that he has inflicted on other people, and that other people being his ex-wife, the mother of his 4 beautiful children, like he loves to say all the time, and his 4 beautiful children, period. So anyway, guys, I just wanted to talk about that. Let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section below. Thank you guys so much for being here, liking, and subscribing. I'm Beth, just being beautifully honest. So until the next time, I wanted to keep it brief, beautiful, and now I'm going to say bye.